SweetLuxe Studios, unveiling where the truth lies, one story at a time.
The first time I traveled, I came home after 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. After living in Ghana for many years, I can see coming back now. There's so many opportunities. We didn't have those opportunities before. You know, I don't want to sound like it's years ago, but now
we didn't have those opportunities before, but now we have them.
Now it's there, and especially when it comes to.
I think you've been gone for a very long while, and then you don't know how.
I'm going to ask ourselves that we haven't left the country. If we want to leave, the opportunity comes. So that would you leave?
If the opportunity comes.
Yes.
What am I going to do there?
Okay, she's like, she wants to go.
Oh, no. If it's masters, I'll go. If it's something like that, I would rather want to stay.
I want to see snow, so me, I will go.
I still don't believe that it's true.
Answer, no.
Answer.
Will you stay or you will go?
Well,
what if they're taking you there in the summer?
Spontaneous plan, I will go. I want to see snow, I beg.
hi guys, you're welcome back to another banging episode of the Chukle Chat Podcast, a production of SweetLuxe Studios. I am Candid and I'm here with my amazing panelists, so I'd like to give them the opportunity to introduce themselves.
I am Nadida Osman, and today is yet another insightful and interactive episode. And we have here a new panelist, a new face, and he is...
I'm Kelvin, and I'm excited to be here to share my opinions and my thoughts on today's topic.
Okay, that's amazing. I can't wait for you to share your opinions. Okay, so before we continue, I just want you to picture this. Imagine you live in a country where you are frustrated by the government's efforts and you feel like there's absolutely no way out. What would you do? Well, for most Ghanaians, they decide to Japa, to seek greener pastures abroad. Japa is a Yoruba word which means to flee or to escape. And we want to understand, is this desire economically driven or there are other factors at play? Well, that is why we are here today. And we are very fortunate to have an amazing guest in our midst who has taken the leap to travel abroad. So we are going to dive into his story. We explore the highs and lows, the challenges they face, and also the opportunities they seize. So Mr. Randy, we are really thrilled to have you here. And before we start with the conversation, we would like to give you the opportunity to tell us about yourself and your background for the sake of our audience.
Thank you very much, Candid. My name is Randolph Adade, and I live in Ireland. I've been there for the last 22 years.
Wow.
Okay.
I left Ghana in my early 20s, right after uni. So there's a lot of experience that I'm willing to share with you guys today.
Pressure.
We are
All right,
really
so
ready
as you
to
can
hear.
see, he has so many experience and that he can't wait to share with us. So jumping right into the conversation, why do you think people want to leave Ghana?
I feel like it's educationally driven when it comes to the youth, because some people want to finish their schools outside and also seize that opportunity to get a job outside there. Getting your master's in some schools is very, very good for you to find a job outside there. So I feel like it's educationally driven sometimes, not most of the time, but sometimes, yeah.
Okay, Nadida.
Well, I don't know if most people think like I do, but then when I was younger, it was for the educational aspects. But then growing up, I felt like if ever I would go outside, it would just be like to go for fun, like, do you get it? Yeah. Like a vacation or something. Or like just go and stay there, go explore what other people have in their country and everything. And I don't know if it's like that for majority of people, but I feel like that's why some people go there, because they feel like lifestyle there and work and everything is like much more favorable, or they want to explore.
Yeah.
Okay, and I also believe that people travel, or even if I will travel, I'm traveling because I know that the system of meritocracy works. Do you know what it means? No. Meritocracy is when people actually, their achievements or whatever they have is according to their merit. Yeah. It's not because of some protocol or some loopholes, but then they achieve what they had because of their hard work, their intelligence, and then their skills. And I know that in abroad, the systems are there. Everything is structured that, so as far as you have the skills, you have the technical know-how, you have the knowledge, you'll be able to thrive and do something for yourself. So I believe that people travel because of the system of meritocracy that is really at work abroad. So Mr. Randy, why do you think people decide to leave? Or even you yourself, why did you decide to leave Ghana?
Okay, thank you. Before I come to myself, I'll maybe look at it from different angle, why people usually travel. And I'll put into two categories. So I would say there's a push factor and there's a pull factor.
Okay. Yeah.
So with the pull factor, people look at things abroad that actually attracts them for them to leave Ghana. So some of these would be the opportunities abroad, the experience that they get abroad, and exploring new things. Then the push factor will be internally within Ghana, what is driving them to leave. So this will be maybe the poverty, hardships, and maybe frustration, political instability, all the stuff. I personally travel because of experience, because throughout my life, I always wanted to leave.
Okay.
So it wasn't a push factor. It was a pull factor. Because growing up watching movies, seeing all those Hollywood movies, are like, oh, if you look at what you see on the telly and look at your surroundings, you feel like there's something better out there that I haven't seen yet. So I always had as, how do I call it, the edge to leave Ghana.
Okay.
So the opportunity presented itself, I just left without looking back. And to be honest, it was a good initiative that I took.
Okay.
And what were your expectations? Have you been able to meet that expectation? Like whatever you dreamed of?
When I left, I was in my early 20s, so I didn't really have any expectations. So I was just going to explore to see what is out there, and it was only fun that time. It wasn't because of poverty or because of to acquire some wealth. I just wanted to have fun that time. Yeah. So I wasn't really saving much, to be honest. So I went there on the student visa. So I was studying and working, but I wasn't saving. But I didn't have a proper goal, like, okay, I want to achieve this degree and come back home. Okay. So it was until midway through my life that I realized that, I've already spent 5 years without really achieving anything or having a plan. So that's when I came back to the drawing board. Listen, by the time I know I'll be hitting my 30 and I haven't achieved anything yet. So I went back to the drawing board and then started working my plans out.
Okay. So I feel like most Ghanaians, they travel because social media have put it out there that there's cultural supremacy over there, that they have, there's a whole world out there that influences our culture, from our food that we eat, from the clothes that we're wearing right now, from the latest trends. We all take it, we adopt it from them. Yeah. And is it so that what they are saying, is it perfect over there, their culture? How, and if it is, how different is it from Ghana?
Well, I would say there's a lot of culture shock when you travel, because in Ghana, we have a way of doing things, like we will say please, thank you, and all those stuff. Okay. In Ireland, it's completely different. The culture of thank you, please doesn't exist, especially meeting someone at the bus stop. Mostly when I first went there, when I meet someone at the bus stop, I say hello, good morning. They look at me like that. Excuse me.
Are you new here?
Where do I know you from? So, but it took me a while to understand that, maybe these people have their own way of doing things. You sit on a bus, right? Nobody will come and talk to you, right?
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, so these are the kind of stuff that you kind of just get used to it. Okay. But when it comes to fashion and food, everything's completely different. Back here we eat with our hands. There, when you see you eating with your hand, they look at you like, excuse me, don't you have fucking knives? Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot of culture shock, when it comes to travel. But like I said, they all boils down to the experience that you get when you travel.
And I also feel like we are not being honest to ourselves. Like, the reason why people are leaving is because, excuse my language, the country is fucked up. Ghana is never going to be great again. And then people are seeking ways to make it. If Ghana, the leaders in the country are not willing to, put the hard work and let the people, feel okay, like they have a sense of belonging. They know that they can trust this country that they are in. So I think many people are leaving because the system is fucked up. There's nothing like people.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
There's nothing left yet.
Yeah, there's nothing left. So I feel like that is why people are traveling. And then, Mr. Rad, do you think that it's a good reason for people to just leave the country because they feel like the system is fucked up? And then would you advise them to rather stay here? If the government is not doing the work, they can also do the work and also do something.
Well, I think the system here is a bit difficult at the moment because if you look at it, here in Ghana, it's very hard for graduates coming out of university to get a job. Whereas if you are abroad, somewhere like in Ireland or in Europe, it's easier to get a job. So people back home that have finished university and can't get a job, of course, they're going to be frustrated. But one problem that I've realized is everybody's waiting for the government to get them a job. the government cannot employ the entire graduates that come out. So that's where I see entrepreneurship to be something that we should push more so that people can team up as a team and set up their own company instead of waiting for the government to get them a job. And I'm happy now with the whole social media and the way people are taking the opportunity that it presents, especially with TikTok, YouTube, all the stuff. So you can create your own employment, instead of waiting for the government. So I would say, yes, the opportunities are not there yet. That's why people want to leave. And then when it comes to abroad, there's a lot of opportunity, especially even when you finish school and you can't get a job. Like I said, you can team up, come up with a nice business plan, approach any financial institution. Okay, this is what me and my team we want to do. They look at the business plan, and if the thing is viable, of course you're going to get the funding, right? And then the interest that you're going to be paying will be very, very low as compared to what people pay here. But there's another thing that I've realized: we Black folks or we Africans, we always want to be an employee instead of being the boss. Yeah. You understand? And even with that mindset, we bring that abroad. You hardly see Ghanaians creating companies abroad. We always want to be that employee. We don't want to be that boss. So it's a mindset thing that we have to change if we want to really, really succeed, even when we travel.
Yeah, so let's say your reason for going there, if your reason for wanting to go there was to seek like financial stability, was to find your way, like your financial standards and everything, with your experience there, everything that you know about going outside, if you were in Ghana and then your reason for wanting to go there was to seek financial stability, would it have been an option with what you've experienced out there? Would you think it would have been an option, and would it have been a good idea?
Okay, that's a good question.
That's a very great question, and I would say yes. And if my initial reason for traveling was to be financial related, yes, I would have still traveled, because like I said earlier on, there's a lot of opportunities there. Even if you are not working, you still get financial support from the government.
In Ireland, you get
if you're not working,
support.
like you're
even
not doing
if
anything.
you're unemployed, you get paid by the government for being,
Really?
Yes. So the system is such a way that if you are working, you pay tax, right? So if you're unemployed, then they have to use some of your taxes to look after you until you get back to the workforce, right? So let's take someone who have never worked, a graduate who have never worked, or maybe someone have just turned 18 that have never worked. The government know that you are still trying to get into the employment market, so they will encourage you to look for a job. But maybe I'm still not getting a job, so what do? I'm 18, I can't live with my parents, right? Maybe I need to go out there because I'm now considered as an adult. So the government will help you a little bit. They won't give you too much, but it will give you something at least to take care of the basic needs like food and shelter. Okay. You understand? So I will never ever estimate the opportunity that is abroad if you have the right document, right? So let's say you've traveled abroad now to where I am and you don't have the requisite document. If you're unemployed, no one is going to look after you, right?
Wow.
But then if you have your residency or your papers to live there and then you're unemployed, they'll look after you until you perish. That's how the system is. So I will always put the system out there far, far ahead when it comes to Ghana.
Okay. But there's this ideology that people that travel outside for personal reasons are selfish.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is selfish to some people that they are saying, I get what, but can you really blame them that they want something better for their life? As you said, would you advise people to go there, to go and get something better for their life? And if they do go, would you consider it to be selfish?
I won't see that as selfish because everybody wants the best for themselves.
Okay.
Right? So if I'm here and I'm struggling and then going there or taking that trip will makes my life and my family's life better, of course I will go. So I won't see that as selfish at all. What was the second question again? There was two parts of that question.
Oh, I said, would you advise them to go? And if they do go, would you say it is selfish?
I understand why you're saying that they are being selfish, but I disagree with you. Because you're saying I'm being selfish for traveling because I'm putting myself first before the country.
Yeah.
But in the first place, I entrusted my life, my education, like my whole like from A to Z to the government for them to put the structures in place to make everything easy for me. They failed me. So if right now I'm putting matters into my hand to make things better for me, why would you call me selfish? But I know we all can't, all go to Ireland to just enjoy the system. There are some people that will still have good hearts and they will still put the country ahead of them and then will come back and then make the country great. So, yeah. So, Mr. Randy.
So does it mean that if you do not come back, you do not want to make the country great or you're selfish or something? Because I feel like maybe you might go there and then you never even had the intention of like going to be there forever. Like, do you get it? But then you go and you realize that everything there is better. And if you should come back and you should weigh things and you should consider certain factors, it wouldn't really make it any better. So you just decide to like just stay back, like, do you get it? And just live your life. And at some point, some people even decide to be citizens and then hardly would they come back to their home country. I don't feel like sometimes it is always like planned. Do you get it? Sometimes it's unplanned. I don't think it's selfish. If I don't want to come back, I would have my reasons.
Let me just add one more thing. I won't see that as selfish, as I said before, because when it comes to migration, there's sometimes a positive side of it. You understand? Because the knowledge, the skills that you acquired there, eventually, someday in the future, when you come back home, you bring those skills and knowledge back in Ghana, right? And even when you are there, you do send remittance back home to Ghana, which also, in a long way, helps to stabilize our cities. So it's not selfish. You understand? People might see it selfish, but it has a positive impact on the economy.
Okay. So, Mr. Randy, was there any struggle you encountered when you traveled abroad or when you were trying to travel?
Yes, I did, and like I said, it's all part of the experience. So when you're living abroad, if you don't have the right documents, you go through hell. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And there's anything that we really cannot discuss online, but the struggle is real. You understand? Not having the right documentation, because, like I said, if you don't have the right documentation, how do you get work?
Okay.
When you fall sick, how do you go to the hospital? Here in Ghana, we have the national insurance and then the TIN, which you call the tax identification number. Yeah, in abroad, we all have our unique number that relates to you. So if you fall sick, go to the hospital, ask for that number, right? So if you don't have the right papers, how do you go to hospital? So these are the struggle that we encounter, especially if you don't go through the right channel.
Okay, what about living there? When you do have the right papers, that when you go outside the country, there's racism, there's you being black and they are going to refuse you, like, as a racism. Does it play a big factor? Do you feel like going out there, the struggle living there, actually, even if you have the papers or not?
On the racism side, I would say yes, it's everywhere. Even within our own nuclear family. We sometimes like some of our siblings more than the other ones. So I have experienced racism before, but I always had in the back of my mind that no matter what I do, not everybody gonna like you. But I don't take that personal. I went to a place where someone looked in my face and tell me the N-word, and I just walk away.
Why? Why did the person do that?
Because the person hate blacks. So looking as they use the N-word to go back to your country, right? I know people who will kind of turn around and fight back or maybe try to react. But I just said there was no point, because at the end of the day, I know I'm black, so whether you say this or that, I don't really care about what you're saying, because the person that said that is someone that back there we call them the homeless people. Right? They've never traveled, they don't know anything about Africa, so he's coming from a point of view. So there's no point in engaging in any conversation. I just walk away. You tend to see that even at workplace, when it comes to promotion, they tend to promote the other race, above you, but you don't let that pull you down. One thing that I knew before traveling is, as a black person, if you are competing with white, you always have to be times2 better than them.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because if you're at par with them, they always put their own people first.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
But then you ask yourself that same question. Okay, let's say if I'm living back in Ghana and then there's a promotion and I have my best friend who is black and then another white that just came to Ghana, I will favor somehow favor the black person over the white person. So that favoritism is everywhere. But because we are always in the minority when we are abroad, we see that as racism. You know, the best mindset is don't let that to actually get hold of you. You know, just work, get your money, and then move on.
Okay, so let's move to culture. Yeah, because when I was younger, like I mentioned, I really wanted to go there, like, because all the movies that we watch, like high school was fun, university is fun, like you get to life over there is always like fun, like everything. When I was younger, I always wanted to go there, like so bad. But it's like growing up, from some movies that I watch, it's like racism, like you mentioned, and then the fact that I came to realize that they don't have like some kind of, I don't know if I should call it unity or like love, like this, like when you come to Ghana, we know everybody knows each other, like you get it, we mingle and everything. But over there, you are on your own. Yeah, that's something we've heard. I don't know if it's true out there, but it's like when you go there, you're on your own. Like you get it. It's just you and then yourself. Everybody's minding their own business. But it's down here in our culture, we don't do that. So were there like instances that you missed home, like you wanted to come, like that part of their culture wasn't really aligning with what you grew up to know, and you feel like lonely, and then you feel like you want to come back? And is it really true that when you go there, there's no togetherness and love and then those kind of things?
Yeah, it's true. Everybody tend to mind their own business. I remember one of my previous address that I used to live at, I was living in an apartment, and then the neighbor who is just next to me, just opposite, right? I was living there for 8 years. I only saw that guy twice in that 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And because everybody tend to mind their business. And the only reason why, the first time I saw that guy was I got visitors over. And then, you know, sometimes we Africans, we are a bit loud. So we're having a conversation, we were, you know, having an argument about politics, NPP, NDC stuff. And then I think we were a bit loud. The guy came knocking on my door. And I was like, who is knocking on my door? So I was a bit surprised.
You're surprised.
And then like, oh, can we bring the noise down? So I was like, okay. So that's when I introduced myself to him. So you just imagine.
For 8 years.
A neighbor for 8 years, and I only met him twice. But
Twice
in Ghana,
You only met him because of a complaint.
Yeah,
that you
because of a
wanted to
complaint. The
make.
first encounter was a complaint, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, so here it's not like that. You know, you know everybody around you. You know your neighbor, and you even know their parents. You know, so I think it's the way that the system is. Everybody tend to mind a business. You know, and even if you see someone murdering someone, you just walk away.
I was even about to ask that. I've been seeing movies like from the UK movies. Yeah. There's a lot of gang war and shootouts, and
especially in the black
thugs.
communities.
Yeah, is that thing also real? Do they be killing people a lot?
I think that pretty much depends on the area that you live in. You know, in every area we have a place that you don't really mess up. You know, because you need to know your way around certain areas. So even in Ireland where we live, there are certain areas that blacks don't really hang out around that area. Even if you go to New York or anywhere, they have community where, you know, it's known to be a bit violent, you know.
Yes.
So those kind of places, you wouldn't want to raise your kids there.
Yeah, even Ghana, especially for the years.
So if you raise your kids there, you're actually grooming up the kids to be just
to know
like one
how
of them.
to be like,
You understand? Yeah, so it's kind of like that. And then even with the black community too, sometimes you still experience black on black where the kids fight among themselves because of obvious reasons. It could be, you know, so many other stuff that they do between themselves, and then they end up shooting themselves. But it's not too common as compared to other countries.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
She asked if you were lonely and you missed home when you were there.
Yes.
Yes, I miss home a lot. The first time I traveled, I came home after 8 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And I didn't miss home then because, like I said, I was very young and just having fun.
Yes,
and
you felt like
you
finally had your freedom.
Yeah, so when I came home, because the funny thing about living abroad, you don't really see that you've lived that long.
Yes.
Because it's still feel like, oh, yesterday.
You are enjoying the moment.
Exactly. So when I came home, I felt like, man, you've been gone for so long. They're like, really, 8 years? I thought it was just yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know, is it because of the weather? Because when it's winter time, you wake up in the morning around 7, 8, going to work is dark. it's already dark. By the time you finish work around 5, 6, it's also dark. That's winter time.
Okay.
So you leave the home, it's dark, come back, it's dark. So the day is gone.
Wow.
Right? So you don't really see the time going that fast. By the time you know 1 year is gone, 2 years is gone, then you have 5 years, and then you hit 20 years.
I thought it was because of the experience and then the enjoyment. So the weather also counts.
The weather also, but then when it comes to summertime, we have long day.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, we have long day.
I can
where-
get summer.
That's when you don't want to go. You don't want to go to work.
Yeah, because on summertime, by 5 a.m., the sun is already out. Right?
Okay.
So you see
5.
the sun by 5 a.m.
By 5 a.m.
Yeah, and by the time you finish work around 4 or 5, the sun is still bright. Even 10 p.m.,
Wow.
you still have the sun, right?
Wow.
So you will not really know that.
Is it a nice experience?
It's a
though?
nice experience because summertime, because winter, everybody's in a cold jacket. No one is dressed up. You can't wear t-shirt. You are wrapped up with jackets. So you don't really get to see the beauty.
How hot is
10
it?
p.m. How will you sleep?
How
Because
hot
me,
is
I
it?
like darkness.
How
So.
hot
Is it compared to Ghana hot when it's summer?
This question I always find a bit tricky because when it's summer in Ireland, I find the weather very, very hot
Than Ghana.
than Ghana.
Wow.
Because I can feel the sun penetrating my skin.
Wow.
But when I'm here, even though it's warm, you don't really get that.
Yeah, feeling. You
Feeling,
don't.
you understand?
You don't recognize.
Yeah.
You don't feel that something is there. But then when you're there, it's like you
Yeah.
can't.
So
It's always
the
on your
summer will
mind.
be around. Well, Ireland we don't have the best weather. So a hot summer will be between maybe 24, 25 maximum. When it's 32 degrees, everybody like, yeah, it's very hot. Whereas in Ghana we can get 38, 39. Even-
But still,
yeah, but then we don't really get that.
Yeah, but nowadays
I
the
feel
sun,
like
the
it's
sun is
because
hot,
when it's cold. I feel like because when it's like very cold, they get to feel it a lot, and we don't feel
Yeah,
that
because
like
we are
cold
used to
weather
it.
yeah, to that extent. So when the heat comes, you feel this a lot more than you would feel it here.
Correct. Yeah.
So you've shared some of the beautiful moments that you've encountered whilst you were there. So we want to know, what are your biggest advantages that you encountered or you have experienced whilst traveling?
Well, I would say in Ireland they give people a lot of opportunities, especially when you're blacks. I can't speak for other European countries, but I know by talking with friends that lives in other countries, the opportunity that we get in Ireland is far better than what they have. One would be maybe because we speak English, right? So it's easy to actually express yourself or
Yeah,
to apply for
communicate,
certain role and prove yourself, right?
Oh, okay.
So if I were to be living in Germany now and I don't have control over the language, I can apply for certain jobs. Do you understand? So the advantage that I see in Ireland and other English-speaking countries, especially we from Ghana or we from English-speaking countries, is you can go in for any job once you find yourself capable and have the experience. Even if you don't have the experience, YouTube is there to give you the experience.
Yeah.
You know, so I always advise people to listen. There is nothing that we can't do. YouTube has all the resources that we have.
Do your research.
Do you understand? Do your research. There's a friend that came over. He was in tech. He came over, just finished his degree in computer science, did a bit of coding and cybersecurity, but he didn't have any hands-on experience, right?
Okay.
And he was like, "Oh, how do I get a job? I've never worked in gas." Listen, go on YouTube. Find what do we do as a cybersecurity analyst.
Yeah.
What is your daily task that you perform? Just follow that. Make a CV and put in those experience. You understand? Because we feel like, oh, if I have never worked in that sector, maybe I can't do
You
it.
will not be able
No.
to do it.
If you go there, they'll give you hands-on training because every company have different system that they use. You understand? The system that you use in Ghana might be different from what they're using currently. All they need is someone to have a bit of knowledge. Do you understand? So even if you can do it, go on YouTube, put it on CV that you can do it. Flow through the interview, and once you get a job, then they'll train you.
So opportunities.
So that's what I think. Always be more proactive, and rather than say, "Oh, I can't do it," And if you have that mindset, you're gonna go far abroad.
Okay, so with everything that you've shared, you've made me understand that there's so much hope if you travel abroad, and then there's, let's say, maybe a 90% assurance that you're really going to make it, and at the end of the day, you're going to get something substantial out of it. Let's say I just graduated from university, and I have 30K in my account, and I want to invest in a business in Ghana. I feel like it's going to be a waste of money. I'm not going to get anything out of it because I don't feel like the government or even Ghana's system is viable for business or for any innovation. And I want to travel. I feel like if I take it there, if I use that money, invest in buying my ticket or whatsoever, it will be better. So you as a person who has an experience, who knows how the system works, what advice would you give to the person? Would you encourage the person to just stay here, work around the money, and at the end of the day, you know that the future is going to be bright? Or would you just tell the person just to carry all that money, invest into traveling?
Well, I'll look at it from two angles. So let's say I'm a graduate with 30K, like you said, and then I have a track record of doing a certain kind of business whilst I was studying. And with that money, if I can inject it into my business and then make the business grow, then I would say, yes, that would be the right approach to take. A typical example would be the guy that set up the Pizza Man business. He was in tech, you understand? So he had the business running whilst he was in school. So after school, let's say if you have a capital, I'd rather put in that capital and expand the business, right? But then if we put that aside, I've just graduated, I have no work experience, I have no business plan, I have
nothing, no
entrepreneurship skills, and I have 30K. So now I ask myself, okay, with the 30K, can I go and do my master's abroad? Going and do your master's abroad gave you two opportunities. A master's degree abroad, an opportunity
to work there.
For you to work there.
Yeah.
You understand? In Ireland, for example, if you do your master's there, after that, they gave you a work permit to find a job. So it's like hitting two birds with one stone, right? The jobs are readily available. Now you've achieved your master's degree, and now they've given you a work permit, which allows you to stay in the country and work, and you're going to get a job, right? And if you were to use that same 30K here and then do your master's in Ghana, getting the job after your master's is not guaranteed.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's
so
true.
I would rather than run with that 30K for a master program abroad.
Okay.
Mr. Randy, you mentioned that you talked about innovation, doing something to thrive and build. So are you speaking against it right now? Because it's like you're encouraging all of us to just, if you have some money,
Japa.
just japa and leave, and, because the system there is favorable. So would you say you're on the side where you're encouraging the youth or anybody who's in this dilemma to just travel?
No, he said there were twofold.
There was twofold, yeah, I can
But
say,
no,
yeah.
before that,
From your
not even this
experience, you
situation
advise.
or not even this circumstance.
Just from your experience,
Previously,
give an advice.
he said something like that we should try and be innovative. He just graduated, so definitely we should venture into entrepreneurship. But here's the case that he's advocating that you should rather use the money and go and study abroad, and at the end of the day, you get a job.
Yes, so you finish school, you have a business idea, right? But let's say funding is the problem. Right? You have a fantastic idea to come up with another Pizza Man, right? But there's no funding. You've tried going to all the banks, fundings are still not coming. Then you have no other option than to leave. But if you can get the funding and then pursue that entrepreneurial venture, I would say that would be the right approach to take. Because after living in Ghana for many years, I can see, coming back now, I can see there's so many opportunities. We didn't have those opportunities before. I don't want to sound like it's years ago, but now...
No, we didn't have those opportunities before, but now we have them.
Now it's there, and especially when it comes
Sorry,
to...
I think you've been gone for a very long while. And then you don't know how we are feeling, how the system is right now.
That's how I always say. When I left, social media it never existed.
Okay, that's true.
It was only Yahoo.
That's what they say. That's what the old people say.
Yahoo,
They said,
right?
you're all saying we should take advantage of social
And even
media.
with Yahoo, those days, you want to chat with someone, have this Yahoo Messenger. They put your webcam on, they chat with the person. Then maybe go on Google and search for opportunities, right? We're still taking advantage of the internet, even though we didn't have this mainstream social media platform that you guys have now. You understand? Sometimes when I'm home and going through people's status on WhatsApp, I just get excited seeing people selling stuff on WhatsApp. Like, I mean, if I have this opportunity, you can literally sell stuff that you don't own. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I can come to your host and say that you have this phone that you are selling for 5,000 euros or 5,000 cedis, right? An iPhone that you're selling for 5,000. I put it on my own WhatsApp page for 6,000. I put the image, everything on. All my network, people will contact, Randy, you're selling this iPhone, 6,000, I'm interested. I was like, okay, yeah. Straight away, you can sell that iPhone that doesn't belong to you. So what I'm trying to say, people should take advantage of the social media, whether it's content creating or selling stuff online, selling stuff on eBay, selling stuff on Amazon. You can actually create your own store on Amazon and sell product that you don't own. You understand? So I see so many opportunities here, but maybe because I've lived abroad, that's why I'm seeing things from a different lens.
Yeah, because maybe you think that something that is being done there that can be done so well with social media. We are not seeing it here yet, but then we have it already.
You have it already, and few people are doing it, right? But just that as a graduate, you think that, oh, I'm a grad, why should I be buying?
I need to be in the corporate world.
Do you know how Alibaba started?
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Alibaba, when he started his e-commerce business, it was so funny. I always tell people that sometimes you always need to think beyond today, think about tomorrow, right? I was listening to this interview from Alibaba when he created his platform where we have buyers and sellers coming together, right? So the idea was all the vendors selling their stuff on the platform, then we have buyers coming there to buy, right? So he encouraged people, the vendors, to sell their product, but there were no buyers. Okay. So what he then did was he buy all those stuff from the vendors, put it in his own warehouse. So the vendors were very happy that, oh, if you are selling your chelewati, put it on Alibaba, people buy it just within a second. But he was the same person buying all those stuffs.
Okay.
Wow.
So he buy it, keep it, buy it, keep it, until he built huge stock. Then he started selling those stuff that he bought on his own platform.
Wow.
You understand? So that was something. You can sell product that you don't own. If one day we hear that the biggest e-commerce platform belongs to Candid, it doesn't matter your qualification. Do you understand? As a graduate, it's not always that you have to go and sit in the office or someone employ you. You can create your own company.
Then I'd rather not go to school if I know that at the end of the day, I'm not going to be able to sit in the office and I have to just sit down. I just have to sit down and then find a way to, make it.
But it gives you the idea, right? Yeah. Mark Zuckerberg, when he was in college, that's when the whole idea of Facebook came up, right? And he knew that, oh, even if I drop out, even if I don't finish, I can take Facebook and run with it. Do you understand? But he conceived that idea while studying. So I'm not going to say education is, I mean, you need that. Even from talking with your own colleagues. Facebook, the idea came from another colleague. It wasn't, well, from what I heard, it wasn't even his own idea. It was another roommate brainstorming idea. Then you're like, oh, maybe we can take this and run with it. So when it comes to education, I'm not going to sit down and say, done. I mean, it's the best. Even apart from the education that you get, the network that you build is something that is, is priceless.
Oh, okay. So that's very, very, very interesting. So now let's come to our children and then culture again for me. Yeah. So would you advise that children, like as young as 15, you see some of them like go out there, they live life, and then they come here and it's like their way of life is like totally different. Do you get it? Because if you grew up there and you come here, you feel different. And if you grew up here, you go there, it's different for you. So would you advise that, or would you rather let your child have the culture over there, over the culture here, or you'd rather let your child have the culture here rather than the one over there, or before going there?
So that's a very tough one. I think.
Yes.
It depends. Everyone will see it from a different angle or perspective. But I personally have a son in Ireland and he's mixed, and he's been here a few times, but he didn't get the opportunity to get what I have. Our
culture, yeah.
So sometimes I'll be texting him because now I'm here on vacation. I'll text him, or maybe I call him. He will text back. Why did he call me? They're like, your dad called you and say, why did he call me? See, I know where he's coming from because he saw my missed call and he wanted to ask whether I need something or whether,
Yeah,
but why he called me, I'm like, how can he ask your dad why he called me? So, those kind of small stuff. But growing up in Ghana, you learn a lot of respect for your for
elders.
The elders. Whereas growing up abroad, it doesn't matter bringing you up in an African home. The school also groom you certain way. Do you understand? And I would rather have my child have a basic upbringing from Ghana than continue there, so that at least he has the basis.
Okay.
And if my child is born there, it'll be always good to bring them home more often so that they learn some of our cultures and some of the way, you know, we respect our, you know, elders and those kind of stuff. So, so yeah, kind of both ways.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, so obviously we know that everything, the system out there is way better than what we have here in Ghana. So looking at that, when you reflect on that, what advice would you give to the leaders in this country for them to adopt to make people feel better and not just want to just leave the country just to see greener pastures abroad?
Tough one. Because I personally don't trust the leaders. Even if we can preach all the preaching, nothing will change.
I feel like they even know what they are doing. They really know because they themselves, they've been outside. They know what is going on. They know the difference.
Their children too are not in Ghana. Their children are outside studying. Yeah. They're over there.
They know.
So instead of me advising the government, I would just say we should make our own castle. You know, take the bull by the horn and try to create our own world that we want to live in. And
how do you create?
Create by looking at the network that you have, asking questions, talking to people, using YouTube, using social media. We don't utilize social media a lot.
Yeah.
I always push on that. Because when I traveled, I left Ghana in 2003, right? I left through the internet, right? I got my first job through the internet. I do everything online. Everything I do, I'm happy that now everybody's on their phones, right? But in those days, everything was, for me, if you take advantage of the internet, there's nothing you can do. I know people are like, oh, I don't have the internet, but you have your phone. Your phone is just like having a laptop beside you. Do you understand? So the more you make good use of it, I want to go back to what I said previously about YouTube, right? I know people who are making huge money off YouTube, right? Content creation is tough. Right? Yeah. So you team up with other people. Maybe you are camera shy, but there'll be someone who is not camera shy. You have all the ideas. Give it to the person, let the person sit in front of the camera. You understand? So that's the kind of teamwork I'm talking about. So it shouldn't always be you. Form a team of people that have the same mindset that you have. And drive. Believe me, if you want to wait for the government to give you that opportunity, nothing's going to happen. You know, so the advice that I would give to the youth, rather than giving the advice to the government, would be, let's just always look around and see what can we do. What can we do? I mean, at the end of the day, if you knock on 5 doors and they all shut down, at least one door will open for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, I am going to make you pick a side. Either if you want Ghanaians to leave when they get the opportunity or stay. But before that, I'm going to ask ourselves that we haven't left the country. If we want to leave, the opportunity comes. So that either would you leave if
the opportunity comes?
Yes.
It will depend on what I'll be going there to do. So if it will be for work, I don't know. I feel like if I go there and then it's because of work and I have to go and adjust to their culture, learn what will work for me and everything. But right now, I know what works for me in Ghana. Do you get it? And then I want to be like, have my own business. I want to be like a boss on my own. Yeah. And I'm in Ghana and I know how to go about it to make it work for me. So if it has to be work that would require me to go and then start all over to learn, to adapt. I'll just rather start here than to go. But then if the opportunity is, say, school, like my master's.
She's like, she wants to go.
Oh, no. If it's master's, I'll go. But if it's work, like, oh, you've just gotten the opportunity. Like, I'm just here and someone will come and tell me that, oh, Nadida, you have the opportunity. I want to take you there. What am I going to do? If it's master's, I'll go. But then I'm just going there to live life and I can't.
So yours is
I want to start here before I'll go.
Happiness driven.
No, not necessarily like going there for the comfort. I want you to understand that if it's going to be like, let's say, right now, I'm just here like spontaneously, then someone says that, oh, I have the opportunity, I want to take you there, right? I'm schooling, let's say I'm done with school, right? I'm trying to figure out my life here. Do you get it? Because I have plans, do you get it? I'm putting them together. I feel like it wouldn't be the right time because one, it was spontaneous. I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't ready for it. And two, if I go there, I have to go and start all over. Even though I haven't started something here, I'm in the process. I know what will work for me. I've weighed things. I don't know the culture there. I don't know how things work there. I don't have friends there with their plan. Well, I don't know, with the idea I have and everything. I feel like if I go there, I have to take extra time to learn how it will work, to learn how to take it, like, the step forward and everything. If it's something like that, I would rather want to stay. Honestly, I would rather want to stay and start what I want to do. If I start and then it's not working,
Okay,
if
so
I've started and it didn't work,
everything
and it
is
comes,
put to the floor. Everything is on the floor right now. Scale of 1 to 100. Where are you leaning towards going?
What
and
is the
leaving?
everything that is put to the floor?
Everything. What you just said. Your happiness, the job, the school, everything. What you want is there and here. It's in both places. And you have the chance to go. What's
So
the scale
I
from
have
1 to
been
100?
like
How are
they've
you staying?
explained to me how it's going to be.
Yeah.
So maybe let's say when it's school, they've explained to me that it's masters. After masters, you
Yeah.
are going to work
Yeah.
and everything. I would go.
Okay.
But even if it's not masters, right, and then you're just taking me there and you're letting me know, oh, there's this work opportunity that they want someone like this with this kind of skill, and then it's just open and for this period of time, and then they need someone like you, I think it's good, then I'll go. You've explained it to me. But if it's so spontaneous, like I've gotten the chance and I need one person and I want you to be the person to go with me, what am I going to do there?
Okay.
I feel like I'll go and start afresh and then waste time. I'd rather
She
start
said
here
she'll
than
go.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Don't listen to what she said. The rest. She said she'll go.
And then, Mr. Randy, I have a question.
No, don't ask me.
let me ask
It's your turn. Will you go or will you stay? It's your turn.
My question is connected to the
Okay.
reason why I have to go. For some time, I just made some slight observation. I just realized that when you go up, when you travel, and you just want to seek like employment, the rate at you getting the employment is very, very low when you haven't school there. But then when you go to the educational system and then you come out, you graduate, like there are better chances of you getting an employment. Is that true?
Yes, I would say that's true. And because when I left, I had an HND in accounting.
Oh, okay.
And in Ireland, HND it doesn't exist. It's either a diploma or a degree, right?
Oh, okay.
So their diploma there is more or less like a certificate here, right? And me trying to explain to them that the HND that is a 3-year HND program, which should be a bachelor instead of the Hons, right? Because they have a bachelor in the Hons. So back in Ireland, they have a bachelor degree for 3 years, then they have the Hons for 4 years, right? So me try to explain to them, no, the HND that is a 3-year program, which should be equivalent to the bachelor degree in accounting. They're like, no, it's a diploma. Because the fact I have diploma attached to it is considered as a diploma. So I struggled for the couple of years before finishing my degree there. Then that's when they actually recognized my qualification.
So
But now it's not like that anymore. I have so many friends that graduated here and then they've got a job there. You know, so because of
Now
I still don't believe that it's true.
Answer. No.
everything-
Answer. Will you stay or you will go?
Well, I feel like I don't really believe that because I feel like they believe our system, our educational system is not so strong enough
not
to have
meeting
us
up to theirs.
being fitted in their,
that was then. And it also depends on the field, especially like when it comes to those that need to register with a professional body, like the doctors, nurses, pharmacists.
Okay.
You know, you can't come from Ghana and go and practice as a nurse straight in Ireland. You have to go through the regulatory body. So it's not a like for like. Say you are a qualified registered nurse in Ireland, in Ghana, so you're going straight to Ireland. You have to go through their registration process. And there they might find 1 or 2 areas that they think we need to improve on. So there'll be some bit of a compensation phase that will put you through. Maybe work for maybe 2 months or 3 months, or maybe do an exams. You know, so in that sense, I would say yeah, but an area that do not have a regulatory body, right? It's always easy.
Okay. So with that being said, I mean, you've said a lot and that's really helped me to think different. Because at a point, I have so many things that I wanted to achieve, especially with social media. But I've been telling my friends that I feel like traveling abroad, the space there will be viable for me to pursue that goals. But then you've made me understand that I don't have to wait till I get there before I actually want to do something. I have everything here. With social media, I can reach people out there that I think that they will really help me if I'm there. So I think maybe for now, my goal will not just to travel and then start making my plans or start achieving my goal. So I would rather start here. I'll start something here.
Yes.
Because even when you travel, they care much about what have you done with where you were.
Yes.
When you were in Ghana, what did you do? So how sure are we that whilst you are here, going to make certain things like different, you're going to do better? Because here we have everything for you. So if you didn't start anything there, how sure are they that they can trust you that with everything that you have here, you're really going to do something? So I think for me, I will encourage everybody and then myself that I really have to start something here. Whatever goal that I have in mind that I want to achieve abroad, I'll try to achieve something here so that if it didn't work here, I will know that I tried and it didn't work.
Then you now go.
Then I'll now go.
So
I'll have a reason to leave.
Yours is 60% stay.
Yes.
That's okay. We won't ask
But education,
we won't ask you. You're part of those that you don't have plan. You go. Now you go and get stuck. That's where you start.
Me personally, I want to see snow. So me, I will go.
So that's the reason why you want to go.
I want to see snow. So me, I will go.
Come back.
So when they are taking you, what if they are taking you there in the summer?
Spontaneous plan. I will go. I want to see snow. I beg.
So how long, if you go, how long do you plan on staying there? For as long as you see the snow.
How long is the winter?
You usually see the snow coming around December, January. It falls around December, January. That's it.
By
So just 2
February,
months.
then.
But the snow you're gonna see around December, January. But the winter will be from the entire. It will start maybe from October up until end of March.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll celebrate Christmas. Then I'll come back.
So you're coming for the snow, just come around
I want
December,
to see
January,
snow.
and then come back
You
home.
just want to see
I want
snow.
to see snow.
Okay. So, Mr. Randy, once again, we've been talking so much of the advantages of how nice it is to go there, of like, you get the positive
the
side.
opportunities
But
and
then
everything.
on social media, there are stories we hear. I mean, people go there and then it turns out like so bad, and then they have to struggle even to come back home. Some people to go and come back, and then they are like, it's really not worth it. Just stay back and like live your life here. And even there are stories where you hear and it's like when they come back, the money they bring, everything you see looks so big, but then you don't know what they go through there. And even when they go out there, they are not who they are like when they come here. Do you get it? So there's also those negative parts of it, and that's particularly are some reasons that made me like rethink my decisions about like going there, like, and all the butterflies I used to feel about going there because of the number of stories that we've heard like that. Especially when it comes to marriage, ladies going there because of marriage, and then it will turn out so bad and they get locked, they can't come back.
And the people staying out the roadside and don't get food to eat.
With a marriage one, you guys have to have a different episode on that, because
wow.
talking about whole marriage stuff is
yes.
a
I
huge-
really,
it's a
really,
huge
really
topic,
want
so
that.
we'll probably leave the marriage one for now.
So what is it? Is it that they are not doing something right? Those out there, is it that they are not doing something right, or
and what's your advice
what's
for them?
happening? Like
So there's a hardship there as well. I mean, it's not so rosy and all this other people. We are going through a lot, especially if you don't have. I will always stress that if you don't have the right papers, right? It means you have to do times 2 of the work that someone that has papers does.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
I'm only doing one job, right?
Oh, okay.
And for me, it's okay. It's not for me.
Can you tell us the job? We want to know.
We want to know.
People are watching.
I work
work
as
as
a
a-
financial accountant
Oh wow.
okay.
for a pharmaceutical company.
Wow.
So for me, it's enough, right? But before I actually landed what I'm doing now, I was in the past working 2 jobs as well to make ends meet.
What job?
Well,
What?
I did everything.
Let us
know. Let I talk. I mean,
Yeah.
Is it because you didn't go with the right, like, how do you say? What do you call
Papers.
it again? Papers.
Yeah, so I went on a student visa, right? But then I dropped out.
Randy
Wow.
maintains these. Don't
Yeah.
say
Hey,
something.
yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Randy, why did you drop out?
Don't listen to the
Well,
question she's
well,
asking.
I
You
mean-
maintains these.
I mean, people need to know what it is. It is. I dropped out because that time I was doing 2 jobs and I was looking at the money and I was looking at the front side and I wasn't really going to college, right?
Oh, okay.
And because I was young then, I didn't really see the need because the money that I needed, I was getting.
You were
it,
getting it.
right?
Okay.
Until certain things happened, then I realized that
You have to go back.
Okay, I came back to Ghana and I saw all my friends This one is the bank manager here. This one is the chief accountant there. This one is there. Like,
they're doing
okay.
well.
I mean, it looks like professionally they are doing more better than me. Okay. But maybe financially, maybe I have the euro weights. But I feel like I need to climb up the ladder a little bit. So that's when I said, listen, I have to go back and finish my course. So that was the reason why I went there. So back to what I said, if you have a proper career path, things become easier. But if you don't, you still have to do the 2 or 3 jobs. So a lot of people will be doing 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet. So it's not as easy as it is. You understand? So I know people that are doing 3 different jobs. They have their main job, then 2 part-time jobs.
In a day?
Wow. So that means they have to sleep less.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you understand?
That is not healthy.
And in all that, because they have to sleep less, they don't have much time, they are not eating properly.
Can you share an anonymous story for us, like a very, very severe anonymous story?
I had a friend that, his story is a bit sad though, but he was doing 3 jobs as well. And the first job that he was doing, I was doing that same job when I first went to Ireland. We were working in a factory where we're packing CDs. You know, this compact decks?
Yeah.
So there's a huge company that manufactures the CDs, so we just packed the CDs, and then that's the job I was doing with him. But then he had 2 other jobs that he would do after that, right?
Wow.
And he's that kind of person that don't like abrofridiane, like white man's food. So like, oh, I don't like chips, I don't like that. So when we go to work, he doesn't really eat properly. Then when he goes to his night job, he will drink coffee, and even the coffee, we have a coffee called espresso.
Yes.
Espresso is the very dry coffee without milk. Yeah. So you drink double espresso, and then coffee too drains the body.
Yeah, to keep you up.
Yeah, you need more water to keep you hydrated. So this guy will go there, drink coffee at night. In the morning, go and do another part-time job before he comes to me. So he wasn't eating properly. And then he developed brain tumor. And sadly, he passed away.
Oh, that's sad.
And with all that, there was another lady within the question that was also putting pressure on him. He had a white bag.
Oh, women.
Oh, please. Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
We shouldn't go to the lady issue because so he was a family man
another
then.
episode
he was a family
own.
man then. So for all that 3 jobs, he had to look after his wife and kids. The woman too was doing some business. She needed funds. So all the money that the guy was getting, he was sending it home for the woman to do the business. And then it came to a point where the guy couldn't anymore. And then he developed his brain tumor. And then
so sad.
he passed away. So the pressure is there, especially when all the family back home think that, oh, my brother is abroad, my uncle is abroad. So all the school fees, all the bills, everything will be on you. You understand? So if you don't do 2 jobs or 3 jobs, it's hard because...
Is it that they don't do 9 to 5? Because how do you get time to do all this jobs?
It's like they run like a 24-hour economy system.
It's 24-hour system. Yeah. The 9 to 5 job is there if you want to work in the office, but not everybody can work in the office and do 9 to 5, right? Yeah. So you either do 9 to 5 in the office or 9 to 5 as a support staff in an office. So most offices have canteen. So maybe you work in a canteen of a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job, right? But that will not be enough for you. You understand? So you're gonna need maybe a part-time job over the weekend to supplement. You understand? So that's why you end up doing. So the advice that I would give you need upskill. If you find yourself in those kind of situations, you don't want to be doing that for the next 15, 20 years. So maybe upskill. Even if you have to do some short courses online, just do it. By the time you know you've done already some few certificates and then you upgrade. You know, but
so it all boils down to the communication, the certificate,
the certificate, and then your desire to move up from where you are.
Okay.
Some people are content with what they have. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm okay with what I have. I just want to be where I am.
Okay.
No, you can go one step up if you want to. You understand? Yeah. So, what's the next question again? You said.
So what you're saying that if we want to go there, we should have something that we can hold on to. We should plan strategically.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any final words that you guys would like to give? Or
don't forget my snow. So if you get any opportunity for me to go outside, let me know.
Nadida, is there any final advice you'd like to give to your audience watching you?
Well, I would say that still, I feel like before you would consider japaing, like, how do you say, weigh your options here.
Yeah.
I don't know. we have everything to our disposal, like he said, especially when it comes to social media and other factors. The government is not doing so well, yes, but how about you, the individual? Try to do something. Sometimes when you do something and it doesn't work, when you are going, you feel good about going, but then don't go and then it will look as if you have the question that, what if I stayed? Maybe it would have been better.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Because if you don't have a plan to and you go, it might not go well and you feel like you want to come back. And if you come back, it doesn't go well. Will you still go? It just all boils down to having a plan, being strategic about the plan. Like he said, if it's education, know how to plan, right? And how you are going to use the education there afterwards to live your life. If it is work, know how to plan, be sure of it, and how you are going to do it out there. But don't just leave when things get hard here, when you've not even tried and you just leave. Do you get it? Yes. So weigh all your options, work it out. If it doesn't work, you get the opportunity, you go and try it there. Yes.
And then there's some observation I also made. I felt like, or I realized that the reason why maybe we complain a lot as Ghanaians that the system is messed up, there are no opportunities. Even if you have the opportunity, at the end of the day, you're not going to get anything substantial out of it. Is that I see the system we have in Ghana and then or Africa and then abroad as like parental style. Okay, in Ghana here, the system, we are so lenient on the people. You can decide not to go to work today and nobody will question you. At the end of the day, even if you decide not to go to work for a month, some companies or some institutions, they'll still pay you. But in abroad, it's not like that. Yeah. If you don't go to work, you'll not get your pay. So there's this kind of strictness in abroad whereby
the system is working.
The system is working. You know that if you don't get up early morning and go and work, you'll not get anything to eat. But here in Ghana, we know that you can stand on the street, beg, call some one or two friends, they will help you out. Rely on family.
Come to my house on Saturday. You eat food. Come to
but
my
in
house.
abroad, it's nothing like that. We have, I know that the families in abroad that they are so rich, but when you get to 18, you are on your own to figure it out on your own. But then here in Ghana, even when your parents are rich and then you are not doing so well on yourself, you can rely and live on your parents. So I think that it's somewhere or the other, or we can classify it as like the parental style that we have here to understand the system, why things are not working here as compared to the things that are working in abroad.
Some people like 9 to 5 too much. It's bad. Try to do something out of your 9 to 5. Yes, that I want to add up. When you are doing 9 to 5, try to go beyond this. Like, do something. Don't waste all your time investing your talent and then your time and then everything into somebody's business. Try to do something for yourself, because even here in Ghana too, there are a lot of people who are doing like 3 jobs, 4 jobs, all for somebody else. Like, do you get it? At least have one for yourself. Do you get it?
You take advantage of social media and whatever we have right now.
Yes.
So, Kelvin,
how about you?
Snow.
Go for snow.
Tell your audience something,
I feel like there's a lot of opportunity out there which will help you as an individual if you want to upgrade your life, you want to grab something. Even in social media, when you go outside, I want to meet celebrities that you look up to. You might even end up meeting someone on the road.
I think it's harder to meet their celebrities.
No, so go to Hollywood. There's this street called Hollywood Boulevard or something. They are always passing there. You see them. If you want to meet celebrities, go outside. You just one picture will let you blow. You see.
And all their life in Ghana.
Nah. I want snow. Yes, I want snow. So follow me, children. Follow me. I want snow.
Okay. So I'm really enjoying this discussion that we're having here, but we have to come to a wrap up, and then I would like to give our distinguished guest his final words and advice on whether to japa or hustle and make it in Ghana. His final words.
Well, I would say if things are tough for you, then you have to japa.
Yeah.
Okay. You understand? But always try at least see what you can do here in Ghana. Because like I said before, there's a lot of opportunities here. But if you are in a situation whereby you've tried and then things are still not working and then
you can japa,
the abroad opportunity present itself, don't think twice.
Do it.
Run with it.
Okay.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your opinions with us young ones.
This was so interesting, so insightful.
We are very elated to have you here. Mr. Randy, thank you very much for honoring our invitation. It was really a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you too. It was a pleasure to be on your show, and hopefully I'll be back again.
Yes. We hope to see you soon too. Okay. So finally, folks, we are coming to the end of this episode. And then there's one thing that I want to say. Whatever crossroad that you are, whether to Japa or to hustle and make it in Ghana, one thing is clear. It's not about which area is the best, but it's about how you make the best of where you are. So whatever part you choose, make sure you own it, make sure you thrive, and then you build. So please don't forget to leave a comment and also like and subscribe to our channel. Chukle Chat Podcast is a production of SweetLuxe Studios, and we have a wide range of services and products to offer when it comes to photography, videography, cameras, and accessories. If you want more information, you can visit us on all social media platforms and also on our website, www.sweetluxestudios.com. Thank you for watching us. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
SweetLuxe Studios, unveiling where the truth lies, one story at a time.